I know of a gym that people complain about. When you sign up to that gym, it's automated renewal. Then to even unsubscribe, you have to be. It looks like you are climbing up a mountain.
Okay, people don't really read unlike before.
I mean, it's not.
It's a lot of things are virtual now. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Let me just say, it's probably this generation. It's not peculiar to Nigeria, like you said. The moment I read like an agreement and I probably see the first, I can easily predict that
there will be problems.
There's going to be problem at the end of this agreement. I don't need to waste my time on. Welcome back to the Cloth and Effect Show with Jumi and JT, the Smart Conversational Load podcast, where fine print is turned into clear conversations. And today we are talking red flags. And no, not the kind that pop up when your date orders milk with dinner. You know when you have a date that orders probably fried rice and then the other banga soup on top, and you're wondering, what's this?
Weird combos.
Yeah, not the one that can even harm your wallet or. I'm talking about the contrast red flags, the sneaky clauses that look harmless but can ruin your wallet, your businesses, or even your freedom to work. And so, over to you.
Yeah, so well, when we say red flags, what do we generally mean? We see red flags in people, like that we are talking to, maybe in a talking stage, you see some things that you say, this is a red flag.
You can't go further.
So red flags are in contracts, things that should jump out to you, right, as alarming, because alarm. You should be alarmed when you see them. And why do they matter? Because, if something is detrimental to you, you should be aware of it. Right? You should be aware of it such that you then make the decision that,
should I go ahead?
Go ahead or
you want to withdraw? Yeah.
Right. So that's why red flags are some things that we should not ignore. They are typically hidden in the fine print. It's a favorite phrase on this podcast, but they're sometimes hidden in the fine print and you should be aware of them. So that takes us to, what are the typical kinds of red flags that are in a contract? The first, I think, is when anything is unclear.
It's a red flag.
If it's unclear, it's a red flag. Now, we have to then say, okay, what does unclear mean? Because something may be clear to a lawyer, right?
But not clear to layman.
A layman or a regular person. But even some things, even lawyer and layman is not clear to you. So in those instances, that's a red flag.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Very recently, there was an agreement we wanted to enter into, and for a client I advised, and we came across a certain term. It was essentially an agency agreement that says, I pay you a percentage of something. Now, that something was unclear. Right.
What is something?
So because when you want to buy a land, right, there's a purchase price.
Yes.
But we all know that in Nigeria there are some other additional charges,
of course,
etc. So let's say the purchase price is 1 million, but the other additional charges is 200K. Is it the 5% of the purchase price or the 5% of the 1.2?
Of the additional?
Because these are things that cause trouble just because they are unclear.
Yes.
Right. So that's a red flag that should jump out to anyone. If something is unclear, the reason why we all have contracts is that let it be clear, such that the two of us, if we interpret it, we understand
the terms and conditions.
In some agreement, you see reasonable. When people say reasonable, something that is reasonable to you may not be reasonable to me.
Of course.
So those are things that in some instances we'll consider red flags and you should pay attention to. Another example is automatic renewals in certain subscription agreements, right? To the business person, they like it. Right? Which is why they will put it in their contract. But you as the user, the question is, are you willing to sign up to that? Right? There are several instances. I know of a gym that people complain about that
Okay, name
the
withheld.
moment name withheld,
Allegedly.
name withheld, that
Okay.
when you sign up to that gym,
Yeah.
it's automated renewal,
Oh wow.
and then to even unsubscribe, you have to be. It looks like you are climbing up a
Okay,
mountain.
so this particular gym in question, is it that okay, the bank like automatically just
Yeah.
deducts from
So
your
I imagine the way their platform works is that you link your card
yeah,
to it.
yes,
So the moment you link
your
your,
card.
let's say it's your active card, because you know
Okay,
what,
of
a
course.
lot of Nigerians have different cards. So if you link your active card and money is there, they will just
Yes.
be removing it.
Wow,
Willy,
even without you probably just showing up, because I know a
yeah.
lot of
I
gym
mean, they
rats or
do.
whatever they call themselves, they don't even show up daily at the gym or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So you just
So
keep withdrawing.
they will just keep withdrawing your money, and
That's
while
a big
that's,
one.
yeah, it's a big one, and while it's not bad on the face of it, it's just the concept that at that automatic renewal, are you aware of it the moment you were entering into the contract, right? Because if you're not, if you, it's a red flag on a normal basis,
Yeah.
which is why you should be aware of it before you enter into that contract. Because what will now happen is that, you know, the next month you're behaving regularly and you see a
Debit
debit alert,
alert. Oh, it
right?
happened to me. You know this thing, this particular example happened to me like that was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this the regular name withheld with the
Yeah,
bank too, because
please.
I feel like that bank is over efficient because I had to okay, so I'd forgotten, of course, normal when you subscribe and all of that. So there's a particular day of the month, I think towards the end of the month, like they just withhold. So this bank that I use, the bank app that I use for the active payment of this subscription, all of a sudden I had money in my account and I wanted to use that particular sum of money to pay for a particular bill. I mean the actual sum,
Exact
the
amount.
exact amount. Only for me to like okay log into there and I'm seeing so thing withheld. I'm like I was trying to rack my brain like why are you withholding my money? Which am I owing you guys? So I had to remember that oh there's this monthly subscription that I do and all of that. But I felt like this bank say people are too over efficient. Maybe this particular app is not yet time now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean it's kind of very annoying when I think that okay I have a particular sum of money in my account and then before I check it, oh, that's been
It
withheld.
has
And I'm
been
like, okay,
withheld.
I have to
Yeah,
look for
yeah.
another balance to top up. I mean, it's a
Exactly.
whole lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like, okay, they don't want you to to watch
Yeah.
this thing on free. Nothing is free, not even a free
Nothing
town.
is free.
Yeah,
Mm.
so they don't want you to use their services for free.
Yeah, yeah. So I
I
mean
get,
that's a good example of how automated renewals can increase the inconvenience of users, right? From business people's perspective, they
yeah,
like that because of course they don't have to wait for you to pay. Because
it's
Nigerians too
automatic.
sometimes they have a problem with paying for
Pain.
services.
Oh,
So
well.
you know you have to look at it from their perspective. So you know a lot of examples of red flags. One other such examples that I come across is one-sided clauses, right?
Yeah,
I had if a couple of weeks ago, I had a fight with a colleague on the
okay.
other side of a contract because the clause was heavily one-sided, right? And we had this little argument on okay, let's try to work out the mischief of the problem of this clause itself,
Yeah,
right? You know, it's a service contract. I'm providing you a service. No, you're providing me a service. I'm the client. You're the service provider.
okay.
Now, liability, right? You limit your liability to the amount of money I'm paying you,
Yeah,
which is basically saying if something goes wrong because of my negligence, so my liability will be limited to how much you're paying me,
yeah,
which makes sense. You don't want to lose more than you would have made under the contract.
yes.
Shey you get. So I now say, me too. I should limit my liability now. That because you're obviously say if something goes
Then
wrong,
you
I'll
don't
be
want to,
liable
of
to
course,
you.
yeah.
So me too, I should limit the liability now because why would I want to pay
To
more
take
than
more than
the service fee we agreed? And you say no. You know, so we had a back and forth, and ultimately they agreed. Eventually, that was what we agreed, that it should be two-sided. So there are some instances in the contract where it's just reasonable that some things are two-sided, not one-sided.
Yeah.
So, when you see a one-sided clause in an
It's a red
agreement,
flag.
it's a red flag
Because
that you should look into. You may eventually be convinced that, okay, I
I
understand
agree
why
or
it's
understand.
one-sided, but you should look into it once you see that it's
So it
one-sided.
doesn't look like the other party is trying to rip you
It
off.
rip you off, essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that, we have several other examples, like unlimited liability
yeah,
is similar to what I mentioned.
yeah,
If you cap your liability, it means you are aware, if something goes wrong, at
yeah.
least my money won't pass this
Yes.
level. But if it's unlimited, it means a 10 million naira contract can turn into 100 million liability tomorrow.
Yeah.
So unlimited liability is also part of the red flags that you should pay attention to. Yeah. So I mean, you know, there are some contracts that you see people just stretching out whatever they can stretch out. You sign onto some service contract and they want to behave like they own you forever. So things like that, you should see them as a red flag before agreeing. So what are your thoughts in terms of how people can protect themselves, in terms of red flags and whatnot under contract?
Well, basically, I think the first step is to understanding what you are getting into. The
Yeah,
moment you understand what
yeah,
you're getting into, like you are aware, okay, that this is what you are getting into, and this is the repercussion, this is the effect, this is what is going, the consequences of it. I think it makes everything simpler.
yeah, yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than when a person just enters into it and you don't even understand the basis of what you're
Understanding.
entering into,
Yeah,
it's already, I mean, it's a
yeah.
red flag. The moment you don't understand, I mean,
Exactly. I agree.
yeah,
That's the
see, even
basis of
the
it
Bible
all.
says but people perish because of lack of wisdom. So the moment you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
wisdom, a knowledge about a particular thing, I mean, it's a red flag on its own.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is
So
why, as a business person, I always tell clients that, or at least as a lawyer, listening to clients, I always like to understand, first of all, what's your commercial objective,
yeah,
right? Because when I understand your commercial objective, I know, okay, these are the things you consider very personal
yeah,
for a particular relationship. Let's say the contract fee.
yeah,
You don't want to go beyond maybe 5 million. We know that that's your fee. You don't want to go beyond 3 months for a particular contract. You know
yeah,
that's your. So
yes,
once you, as a client, and the lawyer also understand that, it's easier to negotiate, or that is when you understand how much that you even know, okay, I'll limit my liability
this
to
is
that 5 million.
yes.
So yeah, the point you make stands on understanding something before
Yes.
drawing up
So,
a
and
contract.
the point of people trying to understand what they are getting into is, first of all, try to read. I think we have a very, I'm not sure, don't let me generalize this, but I think Nigerians have a bad reading culture. What do you think? People don't really read
Yeah,
unlike
yeah. I mean,
before.
it's it's
I
it's
mean,
it's not
it's a lot
peculiar
of
to
things are
Nigeria.
virtual now. It's not
Yeah,
peculiar to Nigeria. Let me just say this, probably this generation. It's not peculiar to Nigeria, like you said, but we don't really read as much. I mean, back when, wow, people read a lot. Are you?
yeah.
I read a lot, like, but what would I say now? The level at which I read, I used
Before.
to read back in the days,
Yeah, yeah,
to now is not equal. But then I
yeah,
try as
yeah.
much as possible to still read and still keep myself appraised of different things. But I
Mm.
mean, but the thing is that when you give probably a book to somebody and you want the person to find out the secret, just put the secret in between the book. The person will never get the secret because
True,
they will never
true,
read it.
true.
So, and the thing is that for you to understand something, you have to read it. Okay, even if you read and you don't understand, then you probably approach a person that is knowledgeable in that area. Okay, I do not understand this. Can you explain to me or something? You
Yeah, which
understand?
is the point on asking questions, because if you don't understand something, it's always just best to ask
Yeah.
someone who knows it. And when they explain to you, then okay, you can then go into, let me even negotiate
Yes, yeah,
what's the
negotiation comes. Yeah, of course. When you have a like you said, maybe one-sided clause, and it feels
exactly.
like, oh, okay, can we do this so we can meet at the middle, so have a to have a middle ground or something. Yeah, that also works. That works.
Yeah.
And And also getting legal tips, legal how will I put it now? Legal advice will also be better. Not from
Mm.
ChatGPT, please. Legal advice from I don't know, but I think we just have to like put a little bit of is it semicolon or what on these things when you're asking for legal advice, not from ChatGPT. Of course, ChatGPT will give you what you need to hear. I feel like this AI tools just tell you what you need to hear, how you're feeling. Like I said, it's as if they've read your mind because of the information, the data, like we discussed in the
You
last
give
episode
into
of what you've
them.
probably given them. So they feed on that consciousness of trying to understand who you are or
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
understand the data
yeah,
about you. So when you're asking for legal advice, please not ChatGPT. Please
yeah.
get an actual person, get a lawyer or somebody that is
Professional.
yes, a professional. Please get a lawyer and all of that. And again, if you feel like a particular contract or an agreement, if you feel like it's if you read the terms and it feels like a horror movie or an horror movie,
Yeah,
better put,
yeah.
please run. Just know that it's an horror movie.
Start
Honestly,
practicing the
I mean the first,
oral.
yes, I mean the first, the moment I read like an agreement and I probably see the first, that first, this I can easily predict that
There will be
there's
problems.
going to be problem
Yeah,
at the end
yeah,
of at
yeah,
the end of
yeah.
this agreement. I don't need to waste my time on it. So if something feels if you feel the red flag at the beginning, maybe your first line and you're reading, oh, blah 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 blah, and then it feels like, why is this thing like this? Just know that till the end of that agreement, it's going to be like that. There's no escaping it. So it's better to just avoid contracts that are very ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, practical things you can do in that regard is you. I mean, the first step in that regard is
yeah,
make sure you have your professional advisor,
yes,
right? Because what I have found in some instances is if I see a contract that I find too impractical,
yeah,
I just tell them, you know what, I will draft this contract and then we can negotiate because you don't want to start, you know, having back
back
and
and
forth.
forth. It's not
You
worth
don't
it.
want lawyers talking over each other on a document and then your commercial objective is not achieved. So again, get your counsel, have it redrafted so that it's not as if you lose that business,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's actually amazing. I find it amazing how a piece of paper, in quotes, an agreement can actually turn
It's
a
it's
world
with yeah,
around.
it's what
It's
we
what
human beings have created.
how illegal. Just a paper. A paper can actually decide that okay, there's going to be peace in this area, or no, it's going to be
Yeah, it
chaos
can
all through.
decide your business exists or not.
Not
Because
even
yeah,
business alone.
yeah,
Even when it comes to maybe treaties, like all these peace treaties or things that has to
yeah,
do with
yeah,
one
yeah,
country to the other. Just a piece of paper. Just that paper. A paper ink and pen.
yeah.
Yeah. So and also, one of the takeaways for these episodes is that red flags aren't always obvious, but they're always there.
Mm,
We just have to look for it. Like I gave in the initial example, when you have a talking stage, is it boyfriend now? No,
yeah,
not boyfriend. Talking stage is still
yeah. Talking stage is where you
talking
see the
stage.
red flags and the
Red
green
flags,
flags.
and your talking stage takes you out on a date and decides to order banga soup and
Fried rice.
fried rice. I don't know how people eat that combination, but I think there are people out there that
I've
probably
not
like
seen
that
it
combination.
before
I
though.
don't know, Sha, but there are people. So and then that's a red flag because for you that doesn't eat banga soup or they even like it, or for I have some people that don't eat fried rice. They don't like the
Interesting.
yes. So I mean, for that person, of course, what are you doing? What kind of combination is this? I mean, that's a red flag there. So they're always not obvious, but they're always there when you pay attention to it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
always there. And also, contracts are built on trust and clarity. Hmm, this one seems a little bit. Do you want to speak more on it?
Yeah, I mean the major point just goes to part of the instances we cited that if something is too vague,
Yeah.
right, you shouldn't be flippant about it. Like, don't dismiss it. Don't say, it's Jimmy now. Jimmy cannot interpret it that way.
Ah.
Do you get? So it's always best to get that clarity
Yeah.
stated in your contract
Yeah.
because the you know it's better to work with that clarity than
Yeah.
to say, oh, I trust Jimmy and say if she
Trust.
will based on the victim, she will probably
That was
interpret it.
this was how I trusted the vendor on the basis of trust. But
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, trust can be broken,
yeah,
but
exactly.
at the same time, things need to be stated clearly. At least if the terms are clear, if the conditions are clear, you know what you're getting yourself into, you know what you're putting your head into. Not like you're going in blindly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yeah, also. Yes. So also we also have to pay attention early to avoid costly surprises later. Pay attention again. Paying attention means reading. Reading your agreements carefully. I know that a lot of people it's almost the end of the year where a lot of people start looking for what's it called? Maybe new accommodation, because I know a lot of a lot of agents are increasing rents and all of that. And then this their agents agreement. I don't know. Lawyers are supposed to take 10%, but agents agents are taking 20.
yeah.
But that's a topic for another
For
day.
another day.
So, but please, before you sign to that 20% agreement, that your agent that is what's Agbero decides to take from you, please read your contract carefully, read your agreements carefully. Be sure that you are not agreeing to something that will come back to haunt you later or come back to bite you later. It's very, very important. It's very, very important to avoid unwanted surprises and also to keep yourself ahead of
Yeah,
whatever might come.
yeah.
Yeah. So is
I
there
think
anything?
that's
Okay.
about it.
That's
That's
about
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. So please, thank you again for listening to Clause and Effects, the Smart Conversational Law Podcast. Next time you're faced with a contract, just don't scheme and sign. Look for those red flags, because unlike in dating, ignoring them could cost you more than a broken heart too. It will
Absolutely.
cost you money. It will cost you time. Broken
Yeah.
heart, you can still listen to some music from Westlife or Celine Dion and pacify yourself. But once money is involved in contracts, money is very important too. I don't know,
Yeah.
Sha, but to me, money is very important. I
It
mean,
is.
I will choose money over a broken heart. Oh, sorry, please don't forget I said that. So, but it's very important and it could cost you more than a broken heart. So if you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe and share it with a friend who definitely doesn't read the fine print. And if you have spotted any hilarious or scary contract clauses, send them in via our mail address clauseeffects.co@gmail.com. You will see below down the screen, and you might just end up on a future episode with us. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you.